You're listening to the podcast between doctors and friends.
Welcome to another episode of Between Doctors and Friends. Oops, sorry.
I'm like, were we recording? It says end record. Anyway,
We're recording, Dr. Foz.
okay.
Don't look up. Don't look up.
Okay.
All right, we'll do it again.
Chop chop.
Chop, chop. Welcome to another episode of Between Doctors and Friends podcast. This weekend, we only have Dr. Foz, the doctor of everything. How are you doing, Dr. Foz?
Oh my goodness, Dr. Ray, we miss you so much. I'm feeling the burden of being the only person here.
I know, Dr. Ray. We miss you. And we
We
also
miss
have
you. We hope
uh
you're okay.
I
Come
know.
back soon.
She's
Sending our
okay.
love.
I'll speak for her. She's okay.
Okay. Sending our love.
And we have Auntie Derek of Daytime Tea with Auntie Derek.
Hello, everybody. Always a pleasure to be here.
Hi, Auntie.
Well,
We'd love to have you here.
how was your week? I'm just going straight to it. Dr. Foss,
Uh,
how was
it
your
was
week?
it was not a good week, but
Why?
it wasn't anything that was not fixable, and it was nothing like work related, so it's fine.
Okay.
Everything's fine. Yay.
All right, everyone showed up for their appointments.
Yeah, it was an okay work week. I can't say work.
Okay.
Nothing
Okay.
super exciting.
Wah, wah.
I know.
Well,
Maybe you would find it exciting. There weren't anything that I found terribly exciting.
what do you think, Auntie? I think we'd find it exciting.
I sure would.
Yeah, let me think.
Could yeah.
Somebody who got hospitalized and had not wanted to care for their medical problems very well prior and is now scared straight, is willing to take all of their meds finally. That's not
Oh,
the scared straight I like. But I mean, that happens actually fairly commonly.
yeah, I
That's
think
not an
so.
unusual situation.
I mean, that's called scared straight
It
medicine,
is.
right?
It is. But I'm just like, if you'd just taken your meds, we wouldn't even be here.
Yeah, that's true. I mean,
You know,
these
if you
things.
just took me seriously or took us seriously, like we wouldn't even be at this point.
Okay,
I
well,
didn't
Dr.
want to be at
Foss,
this point.
have you had patients, you or your colleagues have had patients with, that, the lettuce, the parasite, or the virus?
Oh, that's a whole no.
No.
It's a big problem right now, but I mean, I think there's been like 5 or 6 thousand cases throughout the United States. There's 330 million people in this
Yeah.
country, so you really look at the actual prevalence, it's not that much. It's just, I think, and it's not as serious of an illness as it can be. I mean, obviously it can be, but for most people, it's not. I think where the problem with that comes from is the idea that where is our food safety?
Yeah. Yeah. Speaking of which, I just was reading things that the United States is importing ground beef from abroad.
Mm.
Wow. Well,
From
what?
where though? Well, I mean, we always have. I
Yeah.
think we used to. I remember a long time we used to get a lot of beef from South America.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh,
I
I
don't
didn't.
know. I don't really know much about the cattle farming industry in this country. I don't know where a lot of it originates from, to be honest with you.
Any
And you know
medical.
what? It
Uh,
doesn't have to be on the package. Like in some places, if you buy seafood, it has to state where it was farmed from or grown from, but that's not the case for red meat or mammalian meat or something. I don't know. So I don't know.
wow. And there's also like the engineered meat, right?
What?
The engineered meat, the one that's
Engineered meat?
like Beyond Meat.
Oh, that you mean the meat substitutes?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Wait, what was the question?
No, I'm just commenting that there's
Oh,
also that kind of meat.
Like, where are we going with this?
I want to ask
Um,
you, what's the consequence if someone ate canned food like for 30 days?
You know, so canned food is actually quite safe as long as it's a can that's not showing, like it's not bulging and all that type of stuff, right? But canning preserves food almost indefinitely.
Mhm.
However, it doesn't mean that it's still going to be tasty. But I mean, canned food I don't think is as bad. It's not that bad. What I worry more about is like the can and BPA and all those things. But I mean, canned food is canned food. It's food. Eat it if you need to. A lot of canned vegetables are
Yeah. So,
available. You know.
Auntie, what are your favorite canned food?
Vienna sausages,
There you go. And the
Oh,
other one, the other one, the cat food.
with spam or potted meat. Yes, I love it
Potted meat.
all.
Yeah, my
cat
dad.
food.
Auntie and my dad have the same taste. They love
Well, I mean
Vienna
those
sausage.
those aren't hugely healthy for you just because of things like sodium content, and they're probably, kind of high saturated fat. So, but you got to do you. I use a lot of if I use canned anything, I usually use canned beans.
Canned beans.
Yeah, because it's so much easier for me to open up a can of beans as opposed to a can of whoop ass. Just
Hey,
a can
listen,
of
this is
beans.
between doctors and friends. Okay, it has nothing to do with how easy it is to open. I'm talking about medical. I mean, I
Oh
like,
man,
I,
it's one
I,
of those days.
yeah, like auntie. I like spam. I like spam, but it has to be um, cut thin. So please slice your spam thin and fry it. Fry it till it's crispy. That's where I don't like Hawaiian spam, or they don't really fry it well. I like
Well,
corned
yeah, I
beef.
mean, spam is something that is, pretty popular, I think, in certain parts of the tropics, just because prior to the rise of refrigeration. So you
Yeah.
know, same thing with condensed milk, right? There's a lot of things recipes that are built around condensed milk in tropical areas of the world because that was a way to have dairy that was preserved that you didn't have to worry about refrigeration.
Yeah. So
So, I mean, but yeah, I mean, canned food, if that's what you like, if that's what you can afford, if that's what you need, I don't think it's a horrible thing.
well, what's
It depends
happening
on
with
what you're eating, right?
uh-huh. So okay, beans. I've never thought about that. But I mean,
Oh yeah, canned beans are just. I mean, you can obviously. I mean, you can make your own, like dried beans and sort them and boil them and all that stuff. But I like to make black bean hummus, and it's just easier for me to buy a can of black beans.
I
wow.
want some. I love
It's
hummus. I never
good.
had with black beans.
Oh, it's so good. It's really
What's your
good.
recipe?
Black beans, tahini, salt, lemon juice. I like to make sure there's cilantro ground up in it, garlic.
Okay. Can you cook the cilantro or
Nope,
just
I threw
wash
it
it
in raw.
really well?
Wash it really. I know right now, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
wash. I mean, I have. Truthfully, I haven't made some in a couple weeks, but and I don't make it every day, but and just I always try to wash my greens really well. The whole thing about this cyclospora thing is where I'm sad is I really do use a lot of bag salads, like salad kits and things,
Yeah.
because everything's there and you don't have to chop and wash everything because it's triple wash, ready to eat. Now I'm like, oh, it's not actually ready to eat. Meh.
Yeah. I
I'm
mean,
scared of them now. I
I went to a
shouldn't be, but I'm scared of them.
I went to a taco party, where they brought
Oh
in like
man.
the taco guys and all that stuff. And you know what I had? I had a hot dog sandwich. They're like,
Well,
you
I
want
think I think some of this also depends on where you live because certain supply chains probably have more issues with this than not. And I know that there's some controversy with Taylor Farms, of which I have used a lot of products from them in the
I
past.
know.
And I
So
use a lot of I use a lot of green onions and raw cilantro, and I make
yeah,
this really good red chimichurri with parsley and cilantro. And now I can't. Now I'm scared. I mean, I shouldn't be, but I mean, yeah,
right. And I'm thinking like,
I'm
okay,
scared just like everybody else.
do I need to stock up on my canned food then? I mean, so this is why I'm asking you if I ate canned food. I mean, not all the time, but you know,
Well, once again, it depends on what it is that's canned. If it's beans and corn and canned spinach and green beans and
there's
canned
canned
fruit,
spinach.
yeah, you can get. You know what? I recently discovered. I know I'm going to sound like I It just fell off of a turnip truck. I recently discovered canned potatoes. I'm like, what? So
Wow.
for stuff that I want to make that requires me to like, I'm gonna try. I bought a little can of canned potatoes that are cubed and diced and everything. I'm like, I'm gonna try to make like potato salad out of this or something, just
Yeah.
because I want to see how it is. Because then I don't have to boil it and peel it and wash it and cut it and oh my gosh, like all that stuff that takes such a long time.
So I mean, like corned beef, like the Filipino corned beef
Oh,
is
like
like
corned
so
beef hash.
salty. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
so the
So see, once
preservatives
again, though,
are,
I mean, you can get stuff that's good for you that's in a can, and you can get stuff that's not good for you in a can. You know what here's another one that's funny. Um, I've discovered that I really, really like pickled vegetables. I've been eating a lot of those, like on the side of things, and I had found it's jarred. It's not really canned,
okay.
but it's the same idea. So stuff that's preserved in a jar, like if you go to, you know,
Like an
um,
Asian supermarket, like kimchi, jarred kimchi.
well, a lot of that
Yeah.
is fresh, refrigerated. So that's
Oh,
jarred, but it's not pasteurized. The thing with canning is you can something at a high enough temperature and pressure so that it makes it sterile and bacteria don't decompose the food that's there, and that's why it has a shelf life.
okay. That's good to know. So
So
that's really
that's
is
why
a safe.
and so that's why, yeah, so it should be safe. Now, so that's why theoretically it could keep for many, many years. It won't be as good, like it will degrade in some capacity, but it won't decompose like you would think. Um, and that's why the best by dates are important, but maybe they're a little bit overblown, you know.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
It's hard to know. I'm not a food safety expert, so I don't want somebody going out there and Dr. Foz said that you can eat this as long as you want. I did not say that.
Well,
Um,
Auntie here, he mentioned that he loves pickled vegetables.
oh my goodness. So I've discovered I had at a specialty store I'd been to a while ago, I had bought a jar, so it's jarred and preserved. So this is the kind of preserves that are like pickles at the store, not in the
Okay.
refrigerator section, but like on the shelf, like when you go to open those jars and they pop, right? That's canning, but it's not in a metal can, it's in a jar. And
Okay.
that's different than home canning. So like home canning, like people like make their own jams and vegetables and all those things. Those do have less of a shelf life than the stuff that's done in the store because they don't achieve the same temperatures, if that makes any sense.
Okay.
So like if you can something at home, theoretically that's not something that you should like, keep for years and years at a time. But the stuff at the grocery store can keep that's why they'll have like an expiration date of like 3 years down the road or something like
Wow, I'm going back to Costco in the canned food section.
that. But I'd found this jar of I'm going to sound weird of preserved or pickled, brined, whatever, Brussels sprouts. Oh my god, they are so good. They're like Brussels sprout pickles, and they're so good. I was afraid they were going to be really hard because I had some a long time ago and I liked the flavor, but the texture was like little rocks. They were so hard, but these are not, and they're so good.
Yes, I love pickled Brussels sprouts and pickled beets. Pickle
Oh,
anything,
love
I'll
pickled
eat it.
beets. Yeah, that's what I've
Wow.
become. Like I'm like, I like this pickle thing.
Well, when I was in high school, there's always like the canned food drive, and I don't
Hmm.
know why, but my parents always kept cans of garbanzo beans, and that's what I would take because I'm like, "Oh,
Canned garbanzo beans are great. Like I said,
I
you can throw them in
know."
a salad. You can, make them into hummus at home and just all kinds of stuff that are just, it's, you know, I'm sure that it's better if you buy a bag of raw garbanzo beans and go through the whole cooking process, and then you can freeze them, and they'll keep for a while. But I just don't have that kind of motivation.
So,
And there's some
aside,
things that I only want. I know this is. I
uh
love the jellied cranberry sauce at Thanksgiving that comes in the can. The one that comes out and it comes
like
out shaped like the
the white
can.
can, like from
Yeah,
Ocean
the
Spray or
ocean
something.
spray.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and it comes out shaped like the can. I just love it. I think that is delicious with Thanksgiving
Wow,
dinner.
we get.
I mean, I
did
don't love
not
it. Like,
expect
you
this
don't need to buy me a
conversation.
can of it. Like, I don't like go bananas over it. But I mean, I just sort of, to me, it's nostalgic, and it's just like, and
Well,
so that's coming in a can. I can make my own fresh. I make my own fresh sometimes, but I also have to have the canned with it.
yeah. Well, Auntie got like a whole box of Vienna sausage, so maybe you'll get a box of cranberry.
So okay, to feed Auntie, he needs Vienna sausages and
Yes.
pickled Brussels sprouts, beets, and some cranberry sauce.
I know. I didn't know that Auntie, like my dad also eats the potted meat, and every time he opens it, it's like in the kitchen. I'm just like, why are you eating that? That's cat food. It's like, what do you mean cat food?
Don't be mad at Dad just because he has taste.
On a toast,
Well, it's
toast with
it's
buttered toast, and then he put the potted meat.
he's not the only person who eats it because there's a whole market for it, right?
Exactly. So. All
I
right.
try
Wow.
not. I don't usually eat a lot of canned food just because I'm snotty like that. Like I'm like, I don't want canned corn. I want fresh. But but that's just because I
So
don't.
if
I mean,
I
I don't
ate-
think it's necessarily unhealthy. I'm just a food snob that way.
All right. So like if like worst case scenario something, the food industry here things are kind of going weird.
You can eat canned foods.
Canned food is a
Yeah.
is
I
a
mean,
good.
you can have this whole big thing of like, well, are the nutrients better and this and that? And it's like, well, and then there's the whole thing of like, is it a can? Like, because you got to worry about BPA, which is like a plastic thingy that's in the lining of the cans. It didn't used to be there, but is now there. So, but you could buy BPA free cans. And then also jars, like I said, the stuff we're talking about, like I, get my pickled stuff in a jar. Like I use a lot of jarred, shelf-stable, pre-made roasted red peppers.
Roasted
Yeah,
red
like
peppers.
if
Okay.
if I'm gonna make my red chimichurri sauce stuff, like I'm not gonna necessarily go buy some red bell peppers and roast them myself. I mean, I can, but like I can also just open a jar.
So the preservatives like don't hurt your kidneys, or you don't get like breakouts.
Some stuff doesn't have all that much preservatives as you would think, or sometimes it's things like citric acid and salts, which, but I mean, I do have some faith in our food safety and food science, and not 100%, but I do have some. And so I tried not to eat things with a lot of weird stuff in it, but I mean, I'm willing to take the gamble on using roasted red peppers. I'm good with that.
Wow. Good to hear. Good to hear. And we just want to welcome Sandra here to the mic. We're talking about canned food.
Hey.
I will share with you a video that I saw, and I thought I'd bring it up for this episode and get your feedback. All right. And this video is from Dr. Jeff Yu on Instagram. And let's see if I could grab this. I think I'm gonna guess he's a doctor himself, and I'm gonna play it. Here we go.
Who these people are?
I know, right? Hold on.
That's probably a good thing.
I've seen you on Instagram.
Can I chat with
Get
you?
me on video.
Can I
No.
listen?
I'm like in the middle of-
Everything that I share is for public education. Can I ask you a couple questions? It'll only be a moment. I promise it'll be
Okay,
worth your
sure,
time.
sure.
How long did it take you to become a nephrologist?
After my bachelor's degree, I did 4 years of medical school and then 6 years of residency training, fellowship training before becoming a nephrologist.
What are some things that people should start doing and should stop doing so that they don't end up with kidney failure or other kidney issues?
Get your blood pressure checked regularly.
Yep.
Exercise. Typical recommendations: 120 minutes a week. Get monitored for diabetes. If there's blood in your urine or if you get unexplained swelling, go and see your doctor right away. And try not to take too many over-the-counter medications without kind of seeing somebody to figure out what you're taking them for, because maybe there's something else that would be better.
In your practice as a nephrologist, you must have seen some things that have actually really changed the way that you've lived your own life. What are some of those things?
So actually, one of the things I do is I drink a little bit more water because I'm also a little bit dehydrated, and drinking water just actually helps the kidney function better, control your blood chemistry, your electrolytes.
Would you recommend just plain water or electrolyte water?
Most people, they just need water. Even if you exercise, most of us don't really exercise at a level where we need to really replace electrolytes. People like
Yep.
electrolytes just because it makes the water taste better. So if it actually
Yep.
encourages you to drink water, if you've had blood tests done and everything is fine with your kidney function, it's okay to use electrolytes.
What is the quantity that people should be aiming to drink on a daily basis?
2.5 liters a day.
And that's outside of the food that we're eating?
Correct.
In your practice as a nephrologist, you've probably seen some really devastating things. People who have to go on dialysis, people who die of kidney failure because of all the electrolyte abnormalities and toxins that accumulate.
Yeah.
What kind of advice could you offer to people that might be watching this?
People have a lot of regrets about not following up, not taking their health in their own hands, not taking their medications regularly, perhaps not even asking enough questions to understand their health condition really well. And because of poor understanding, their health doesn't actually get optimized.
Hey, I
Yep.
ask every physician that I interview if I could get your contact and if you would be willing to educate the public on regular
Absolutely.
things. Was that
Yeah.
okay?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so
Yeah.
much. Oh,
Yeah.
excuse me. Are you a doctor?
Oh,
Wow. I
I
hear
like
a lot
that.
of yep,
that
yep,
was
yep.
nice. Yeah. So, so the only thing you have to take everything with a grain of salt. But before I say anything, what are your questions?
Oh, there's no questions. I just want to get your reaction.
Oh, well,
Oh,
I
I do.
think
I mean, I have some questions later on.
okay.
Like water, right? The seltzer
Yeah.
water.
So it doesn't really matter if it's bubbling or flat or whatever, it does, as long as it's safe to drink water. So potable water. So don't go drink out of your local creek,
Uh,
but if it's, and most tap water in the United States, like I said, I'm saying this with like Flint in mind, right? But most tap water is safe. I try to drink tap water.
yeah, but you're, I think you're Gen X. You probably drank from the hose. So
I did drink from the hose. I'm probably sure I drank from the creek.
hey, if you're thirsty, you're thirsty.
But I don't know if I would say the 2.5 liters thing. You can't really give somebody a definitive amount. It depends on the person. It depends on their body weight, their exercise level, their the ambient temperature, what other medications they're on. So there's so many things that kind of play a role in that. A general rule of thumb that would apply to somebody who is not on a diuretic water pill, blood pressure pill, would be just monitor the color of your urine. You want a good amount of light yellow colored urine.
Light yellow.
Yeah.
So like lemonade.
Yes.
Light watered down lemonade.
Now, if you take a water pill, so hydrochlorothiazide, chlorthalidone, indapamide, Bumex, Lasix, furosemide, amiloride, triamterene, there's a whole bunch of things. Or if you take certain medicines for diabetes that behave like a diuretic, like perhaps Jardiance, things like that, that may not necessarily be applicable to you because those things tend to force the production of a lot of urine anyway. And also there are some patients who should be monitored. Like there are some patients who are on water restrictions or on fluid restrictions. So I would always say you need to clarify this with your own doctors. And I will also say that just because some is good and a good amount might be better, that too much of anything is also not safe. And that's why I'm reluctant to give these blanket recommendations, because there's so many things that might affect a particular person, and they get one little bit of information and then they take it and they run with it. And now you're in trouble, right? But essentially, too much of anything is bad. If you drink too much water, you can get water intoxicated. You can have acute electrolyte problems from that and end up in the hospital, have seizures, and or die. That's 100% true.
Wow.
We don't tend to see it get that extreme. I have seen it. They tend to be in patients who have had a psychotic break of some sort, so they're not necessarily mentally in the right place. But too much is also not good, but good hydration is important. And it does kind of, help people, I think, feel a little bit better if that's what the problem is. And it can help prevent things like gout and kidney stones.
Now, what about like bubbly urine?
So urine can so the whole thing with bubbly urine is a concern for protein spillage in the urine, right? So proteins, when you agitate them in liquids, can bubble a little bit. And so people will say, well, my urine's really bubbly. If I do a urinalysis and there's no protein, then I'm not worried about it. It doesn't necessarily rep anything else. And then what I think of is like, well, it's probably the residual cleansers in your toilet or something.
Got it. Too much.
Or
soap
it's something
in the toilet.
I can't say I've ever had anybody come to me and say, I have really bubbly urine, and I found them to have like, massive kidney problems when they weren't already set up for that,
Yeah.
know. And if they're already set up for that, if you have hypertension or if you have diabetes or if you have heart failure or something like that, I'm already monitoring that for you. So like it ain't gonna sneak up on me.
Got it. And anyone have a question?
No, I'm just shocked at like how too much water can actually like cause problems.
So what it does is you can't compensate by removing. So I mean, water goes in. We ingest water. You also make water from your food. So it's your body creates water that it needs, and so it has to be excreted, right? Everything that goes in has to come out. How do you excrete water? Obviously you pee it out. You also breathe some of it out. So those are what we call part of insensible losses.
I'm sorry. Wait, breathe some of them out?
Sure.
Okay.
Water vapor in your breath.
Okay.
Like your body's warm. There's humidity that is in your breath, right? And so have you ever, that's why if you breathe on a mirror, it leaves like steam, right?
Okay. Never thought about that. But
I thought that was just a mirror. I didn't think it was me.
You're like a train now.
There's something wrong with this mirror. Well, that's that about that.
Hey, that's copyright. Anti-copyright.
You better copyright that, Auntie. So what happens, just remember, Auntie, when you take over the world, don't forget the little people.
Will never.
That's that on that.
And so there is now I'm obsessed with that. So you have what we call insensible losses. So you lose it through breathing. That's normal. That's, you lose it through insensible sweat. So if you're sweaty, obviously that's one thing, but I mean, your skin does sweat even when you're not sweaty. It's, and then you also kind of use some in your metabolic processes, like it does kind of, but I mean, that's not large. So, and then most of it, you either poop it out or you pee it out, right? So you need water to poop normally, right? So that's why a lot of people with constipation, they need to eat fiber. So fiber holds the water in the bowel. You have to exercise so that you stimulate your bowel to move normally. And you have to hydrate to help keep those stools softer so that you don't get stuck with constipation, right? So that's where water goes. And so, but it's not an instantaneous thing. Like if I drank a 2-liter thing of water, you're going to have to pee, but probably not in the next 2 seconds. It takes a few minutes for that to be digested and for it to be taken out of play, so to speak, by your kidneys. And that takes time. And then you can have an acute problem. And if your belly is full of liters and liters of water and your body is still continuously absorbing that, you're going to have acute electrolyte abnormalities. The most classic association is what we call hyponatremia, which is low serum sodium or blood sodium. That has nothing.
Sodium. Okay.
Well, okay, but so I have to throw this disclaimer out there. People start making a lot of assumptions, right? That's kind of been my new thing lately. Quit making assumptions about something you don't know the whole thing about. And so what happens is sodium in your blood does not necessarily have a lot to do with the sodium in your diet. So that's why people say, I've been eating a lot of salt. I need to check my blood sodium. It's not reflective of that. There's other processes that are reflective of that. And so what happens is you drop some of the electrolytes in your blood, such as sodium, really low, and now you have something called hyponatremia. Now you have too much free water in your body, and now that's going to cause like cells in your brain to swell and rupture. So then you have seizures and brain damage and brain hemorrhage. Yeah, it's a bad scene. So
like sometimes I eat this soup and I feel like, oh, my stomach is just like all the water in that soup.
Did you eat 5 gallons of it?
No, but it's like a
Okay.
lot. But
It's a lot. I mean, you're going to pee, right?
yeah.
And that's why they say, like, when you exercise, like, that's why people get crazy about, it used to be about Gatorade, and now it's all about like liquid IV or whatever they call it, right? It's the
Mm,
electrolytes, right? So
okay.
that's why when you exercise and you sweat and you're losing all this water, and if you drink just water, you might have electrolyte problems because you've sweat out some electrolytes and you've peed out some electrolytes, but you haven't replenished them just by drinking water. So it's kind of like that balance.
Uh-huh.
However, in most cases, if you drink plain water, but you have something else, like a couple of crackers or something, I mean, your body will kind of take what it needs from what it is ever you consume. So it doesn't have to be those things. Those are just more like convenient, I would say,
Yeah.
I would say it's probably more important when it's like extreme conditions. Like, I don't know, I feel sorry for people who work outdoors and they live in like Las Vegas or something where it's like 110 degrees, or
I
Phoenix or
know.
something where it's
You
super
guys
duper hot.
you guys need your union break. I'm going through that.
The
The
doctors need to
heat.
unionize,
Uh-huh.
actually. So then I would totally be behind that 100%. And then so that's where it can be convenient. And then also you have situations where people have like excessive losses, right? So excessive fluid losses. So somebody who has like persistent vomiting or diarrhea that won't quit. I mean, that's how cholera kills people, right? So cholera is a bacteria that is highly contagious, and it just causes like massive, massive output of diarrhea, and people die of dehydration just from the diarrhea. But if we can just, and that's what we see a lot in historically in the developing world, right? Kids would get these terrible infections and die in their mother's arms, and it's just incredibly tragic. And so we know, though, that if you keep up with their fluids with these balanced electrolyte oral rehydration solutions, you can actually save their lives. And
So
so that's where that sort of comes from.
so I'm gonna back it up a little bit.
Mhm,
Gatorade you mentioned.
mhm.
Um
Really
for
not ideal. Really, I mean,
oh, oh,
it's a little heavy on the sugars and all that stuff. I mean, it's better than, if you are concerned truly about electrolyte stuff, then that would be a great choice. But once again, I mean, if you ate a couple of saltine crackers and drank a bottle of water, I don't think it would be all that different. I mean,
oh, really?
yeah, I mean, for most people, like most people are not needing, most people are not in these extreme circumstances,
Hmm.
nor are or so it's not really
But
that
would
big
you
of a deal.
recommend, like, should I have Gatorade like in my kitchen cupboard, like in case, someone
No,
I get sick
not
and
really. I mean, I don't
oh,
do that, if that makes you
okay.
feel, I don't keep it here. However, if you are worried about that, the true, like, you can find formulas. I always forget what they are. It's like a liter of water with like a teaspoon of the, I don't know. Like, I would have to look it up.
Uh-huh.
There's some World Health Organization formula for an oral rehydration solution that has like salt and baking soda and I think sugar or something that gives you kind of like a rough idea. But if you want to go like buy a product, you would use things like old school Pedialyte.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so those are
Okay.
balanced electrolyte solutions for like medical use, and so adults can use that. I think it's quite expensive, but I
I think
mean,
they're gross. I
well, that's
tried.
the thing with all true balanced electrolyte stuff. I mean, you don't taste sweet, you don't taste salt,
Mhm.
like it's just ugh.
All right, I'm gonna ask you this because it's something new that I started doing. So yeah, I'm in Los Angeles and it's been hot, unusually hot, and so I've been getting like a cold can of, seltzer,
Mhm.
and I have a stack of emergency from like I don't know when. So I'll just get a cup of ice,
Mhm.
seltzer, and emergency. That's how I hydrate. Can
Emergency
those
C,
emergency
like the
packets?
product. Yeah,
Those
I don't know what's in that except for C, so I don't.
yeah.
What's in it?
It's
I
like
don't know.
1,000 milligrams of vitamin C.
How many milligrams?
1,000.
Okay, what else is in it?
I think it's like zinc, and it's like a little multivitamin type of situation, which I know you're not supposed to be having a lot of
Yeah, can
Camille.
I have two? Let me see. Let me pull it up.
Okay, hold on. Chop
So I,
chop.
I just Googled because I was curious. So it says it has the 100 mc of vitamin C, and then it says along with a blend of B vitamins, electrolytes, and essential minerals designed to support immune function and energy. So I
Okay,
think
first
isn't
of
the
all,
essential
see,
minerals like broad?
you know, that doesn't tell me a whole lot. I'm just gonna say, I mean, it's just I just feel like designed to support by who, with which FDA approval and randomized trials. I just sort of, I don't know the product. I'm sure it's fine, like, whatever. I'm just very suspicious of the supplement industry in general because they want you to buy a product. They want you to buy their stuff. So they're going to tell you, hey, this supports this, or hey, this does this. Okay, based on what?
Yeah.
Based
I
on
mean,
what information?
the thing is, I have it in my house because, like, I don't know.
Well, don't overdo it. Too much vitamin C can actually trigger kidney stones as well. So you don't want to overdo it.
Really?
But I mean, yeah, but if you're having 1,000 milligrams of vitamin C in an emergency on a daily basis, I don't have a strong objection to that.
Wow.
Too much. Okay, the lesson for today: too much of anything is not good.
Do you guys hear that? Too much love.
Too much water, potentially dangerous. Too much vitamin C, potentially dangerous. Well, I mean, if you think about it, okay, think of salt. You have a salt shaker in your house, I'm sure. Everybody does, right? And you can put salt
Okay.
on your food. You can put salt heavily on your food. It's probably not good for you for the long term, but if you ate a hot dog, a bag of chips, some of whatever potted meat we're talking about,
and beans.
and well, just so you know, you could rinse the beans or get low sodium varieties, just saying. And that is a concern in canned foods. The sodium is an issue because it is sort of processed, but that's, once again, a lot of it can be removed, or you can get low sodium varieties. So that's why I don't really get crazy about that. That's on you, right?
Mhm.
But so too much of anything is bad. You eat all of this. You can have, let's say you have some potted meat today with some Vienna sausages and all this stuff, and then you'll be fine. Your blood pressure might not be great for a while, or you might have issues, but I mean, you could go into heart failure if you're old and sick enough, but ultimately nothing bad is going to happen to most people today, right? But if you ate a whole, you know how you buy salt in those containers, they're like a 1 pound canister of salt, like table salt.
Okay.
You know what I'm talking about? Those round
those
cardboard containers with a little metal pour spout.
Yeah,
But if you ate that whole thing today, you would probably get really, really sick. You know what I mean? So just because you can have some doesn't mean excessive amounts of anything are recommended.
Okay, so on the
I
jump,
mean, like, exercise is good for you. Excessive exercise might be harmful. Like, you know what I mean? So
that's what I say. Too much exercise.
no, well, okay, we're not going to go down that route. Okay.
All right, Sandra, what do you have?
Okay, I think I know the answer to this, but Dr. Foz, what are your thoughts on ramen? And is there a difference between the packaged ramen versus like the ramen I would like sit down and order at a restaurant?
Sorry.
Yeah, Dr. Foz,
I can't just help but think of that ramen song. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Y'all put peas in the cup. No thanks. That one. So ramen traditionally, okay, here we go, is a Japanese food, right? It's ramen. It's Japanese. It's like saying fried rice or tacos or something. It's just a food. It's noodles cooked in a savory broth. Ramen in a package is really different. So that is a more processed thing. It has a lot of salt and it's probably not really ideal for your health. It is very inexpensive and it tastes good. So a lot of people will eat that. Like I remember my college years of ramen and hot dogs and that type of stuff, because back in the day you could get a package of ramen for very, very cheap. And so it's really not great because it's highly salted. It's like high sodium. And then it's also like those noodles are not dried, they're fried. That's how they preserve some of them. But depends on the brand. I don't think it's the devil. If you like it, have some once in a while. Just be mindful of your sodium intake and your overall intake. I mean, all these things that you shouldn't eat in large amount, like ice cream, right? Who just like ice cream?
Oh, let's not go there. No, just kidding.
All of these canned foods that are not good for you, processed things, like, I don't think, I mean, you can have them in small amounts if you don't have other serious medical problems. As long as you're eating healthy most of the time, I think you'll mostly be okay. I think that's where you know, we need to kind of keep our eye on the prize there of like, it's some of these things are probably guilty indulgences. I just would not recommend them to be the basis of your calorie intake. But if you try to eat healthy most of the time and are mindful of these things, then I don't think that a little bit here and there is going to be the end of you. Now, theoretically, it could be for some people. If you are on dialysis or have extremely fragile kidneys where you're almost on dialysis, we should think twice about those things. If you have a history of heart failure or risk for sudden heart failure, then we should probably think twice about those things. Those patients, though, are usually pretty sick and are pretty aware of it. The elderly, maybe not a great choice. But, I mean, of all crimes, if you have a
But,
pack of ramen a few times a year, probably the world won't end.
okay,
But I can have restaurant ramen every day.
Well, that would be restaurant food, and so then there's the idea of like how much sodium is in it. Why does restaurant food taste good? Because it's high in fat, it's high in sodium, high in sugar, and all of those things that we don't typically do at home. So, and then also it would depend on things on like, your overall calorie profile and, are you eating all this ramen because most of your calories are coming from, carbohydrates and nothing else? Are you making sure to get your vegetables on board and all those things? So, I mean, ramen in a restaurant once in a while is probably going to be not that big of a deal.
I mean, we just talked about like not to have too much of everything. Okay.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but speaking of which, ramen
Does
and
that
this
help,
whole
Sandra? Did that answer your question? Hold on.
Yes,
Oh,
it
she-
did.
okay.
It did. I knew the answer, but I just had to hear it from you. Goodness.
see that
Yeah.
see that when you hear it from a real doctor, then a podcast
funny.
host of doctors. Now, what about like the spicy ramen?
What about it? Go
Like,
for
doesn't
it.
that burn your stomach? I mean, is that bad?
Well, so there are some people who don't tolerate spices, right? So they don't
Uh-huh.
like them, or it upsets their stomach. I have had so I have a friend who is heavily into very, very extra spicier. The spicier, the better food.
Yeah.
And then so what I've learned, and they don't teach you this in med school. They don't be like, guess
Okay.
what happens if you eat tons of spicy stuff? If you're like the ghost pepper king, what's hot going in is hot coming out, right? So you don't necessarily break down all the capsaicin. It might irritate your tushy. But the workaround, I learned this from my friend, is if you have an extra spicy meal, which might cause problems in terms of your behind, so not upset stomach, but irritating the tushy, is take some Metamucil, and that it'll bind it all up, like the psyllium husk stuff, and it'll kind of bind it up so that it'll be less irritating on the tush coming out. I don't know because I don't eat food like that. So I will just say that's what somebody's told me that it's
Does
worked for
that
them.
burn your stomach or
Well,
no?
if it doesn't upset your stomach and you like it and you tolerate it fine, then I don't have an objection to it at all. If it gives you heartburn, if it upsets your stomach, then maybe we should dial that back. So it depends on what somebody's tolerance is.
Wow. Well, here on the Jumbotron, I don't know if you're seeing the ingredients for the
I
emergency.
can't. It's all blurry. I can't
You
see
can
it.
click on it and it'll be bigger for you. Vitamin C is like 1,000. There's
Okay.
vitamin-
Vitamin
So I-
D. Oh, that's I would not have more than one of those in a day maximum.
Damn. Okay.
How many are you having?
No, I had 2 yesterday because it was just
Okay.
really hot.
I mean, 2 once is not going to kill you.
Uh-huh. But I shouldn't
So-
do that.
Well,
just
if
so
you're having
good
like
with-
3 or 4 a day,
Uh-huh.
then you're having like, that would be, let's say you had 3 a day, that would be 2,800 IUs of vitamin D, which is a hefty dose, but probably not too much.
Mhm.
It's the vitamin C that I object to in large doses like that. I just don't
Mhm.
think it's great. The other stuff like the vitamin B12, that's not, even though it says it's a big dose, it's not. The calcium's not a big dose. Magnesium hydroxide, okay, that's not a big dose. The sodium is not a huge amount. Yeah, I mean,
one
most of it's
packet a
not a
day.
big deal. What's that?
Uh-huh. 1 packet a day. It says right there on
Yeah,
top. 1 packet daily. Look at that.
Well, but see, people go, okay, well then I can have more, or I
Yeah,
just
because
really
it's so
like it.
good. You have
Well, it's
seltzer
got sugar in
water
it, so it's
and
got
ice.
fructose in it. I'm looking
Uh-huh.
at that.
Yeah. Better than,
Okay.
drinking soda.
How many? Oh, it's only 30 calories. Oh, it's got 6 grams of sugars. I mean, that's not a lot, but
Yeah, that's a good, for like when you're having your union break in the middle of the heat. Just cool off.
Well, you can also get
That's
health.
my.
You can put a squirt of lemon into your water.
Wow,
You
then you
can
have to
do
go
spa.
get fresh lemon.
Then you can buy those. You can do bottled lemon juice. I've done that.
That's true.
You can do spa waters where you slice lemon and limes and put them in a big pitcher of water with some mint leaves and just throw it in your fridge for a while. That works. You can do fruit infused waters.
Infused, yeah, too much work. I just need to like cool off quick, But okay,
Just
so
don't have
one
more
a
than
day.
one a day. That I don't
Yeah,
mind. Yeah,
that's good. Well, that's that on that. That's Auntie Derek's line.
Well,
Any
I
other
agree
questions?
though with that. Just back to loop back
Yeah.
to the original thing, the video. Like I agree what she said on the blood pressure. Like if you have blood pressure, get it checked. Your diabetes, act on it. Like all that stuff that people don't want to do. And I agree with that whole thing. Like a lot of people don't have understandings of these things. I will say this is I have worked with many different patient populations in my career. Throughout the entire socioeconomic ladder in this country, different levels of education, from people who are immigrants to this country who never had an opportunity to go to school at all and don't speak any English, to people who are extremely well educated and have all the resources at their fingertips. I think sometimes people just don't listen to what you're saying, and like I almost want to like grab them by the chin and be like, are you hearing me? Are you hearing me? And it's amazing how a lot of people are like, well, I just thought. Yeah, you just thought. Ask the questions that you need. I think some of the questions would be like, how serious is this and how serious should I take it? And let me frame it for you. Like, I'm very worried about this. You need to do this, that, the other, versus, your LDL cholesterol is just a little bit high. It's not the end of the world. Just make sure you work on things so this doesn't become a bigger issue. So there's this whole span of things. And yes, I agree with what she said about that. I thought what she said was a very nice summary of some of the issues, which is people don't fully understand, and so then they don't take the action that we are hoping that they will.
And she looks like she just got out of a long day at work. Reminded me of you guys. Dr. Foss.
Nephrologists, they are subspecialists of internal medicine, and they have patients that are the sickest of the sick. Their patients are very, very sick.
And
it takes a lot to be a nephrologist. Yeah.
And are they kidney doctors?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. The nephrology group I work with, love them.
Aw, that's a tough daily situation right there.
Very.
Right.
Very. Like their patients are very, very fragile.
Oh, well, let's end this on that sad note. No, we're not going to end it on a sad note.
How is that sad? It's a fact.
So, how do you want to close this?
We miss you, Dr. Ray. I'm pleading for you to come back with some of your good stories.
Yes.
And we are sending our love.
I saw Dr. Ray, and at one time she's doing all these things, and then she gets a phone call, and she has to kind of just step away, and I could hear her goes, just this pregnant woman is blah 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 blah, and she has to like switch her brain and go, okay, tell her to do A B C D E F G. And I'm just like, boy,
well, her life, yeah, she's never allowed to, like, especially if you don't have anybody who you work with, she's constantly. Hold on, it fell. Is that okay?
Okay, yeah. Okay, yeah.
She's constantly being like taken away from things. She's constantly, having something over her head. Obstetricians have a hard job.
I know. We'd be like on a weekend getaway, like looking at sea lions, and then she'll get a call, like a serious call. And I'm just like, oh my gosh.
Yeah. It's pretty
But,
amazing.
we go through that too. Tech goes through that, and we're just like, just
Everybody does.
restart the
Yeah.
server. But no one dies.
Well, if it's controlling something critical, somebody could theoretically.
I know, and I've witnessed you as well on on a weekend getaway, and you're like, having to do some remote medical call.
Oh, yeah, not my favorite.
All right, well, you know what? Let's go for an exciting, fun week. I think it's the last week of August. So the next time we'll see each other maybe in September.
Yep.
How's that? Oh no, maybe no, we still have like August 30.
Yep,
So
that's my mom's birthday.
there
Happy
you
birthday,
go.
Mom.
Another weekend. We have one more week of August. All right. That's
Summer continues.
Auntie, you want to close it out with your phrase?
Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy day to chat with us between doctors and friends, and come back next week.
And that's that on that.
That's that on that.
Love it.